Hi everyone. Recently, I completed 40K milestone on Upwork and I shared that post on LinkedIn. And a lot of people started asking me questions related to freelancing, some guidance, and how do I take projects, and a lot of different things. So, what I did throughout the year, I am getting those messages on LinkedIn, right? Whenever I share some post related to the review I got on Upwork or some, the job I complete, I get usually these, questions from the people on LinkedIn. So I curated all those questions and I thought of answering those questions. I hope that questions will help you to get an idea, like what is like to be a freelancer, right? How much do I earn? Whether I take projects outside of Upwork also, or whether I work on a fixed project, or whether I work on hourly basis. Are you work as an individual or do you have a company? Can I collaborate with you? There are a lot of different kinds of questions people have, and I thought of answering them one by one in this particular video. Okay, so I hope this video is going to be useful for you. So let me start with this first question. So the first question is related to, how long did it take for me to actually secure my first freelancing job? So I will tell, when I decided to, start freelancing, I went to Upwork, I created account, and maybe I applied for a couple of jobs, and then I was also, watching some YouTube videos related to, how to write a freelancing proposal. I will might read some blog, and I will do this kinds of things. So I think it took me almost a week, 7 days or a week to get my first freelancing, job. So in your case, it could be anything. It could be maybe 1 month, 2 months, depends on when you are applying, what credibility and how you are writing the proposal. So it depends on that. For me, it took 1 week. The next question is like, how much did I earn from my first freelancing job? So I also recorded this thing in earlier videos that when I started, freelancing, I only applied for the small job, like $50, $100 kind of job. And the first two jobs, what I did are all actually, $100. They are fixed, amount jobs. So I earned the $100 on that particular job. Next thing, can you explain me, why did you, quit your job? So I have already created a separate video on that. If you look at my freelancing playlist, I have mentioned why did I, quit my job there. The next thing people ask me, how much you were already earning through freelancing before you quit your job. So let me tell you, I have also mentioned in that same video why did I quit. I was not earning anything as a freelancing, and I didn't want it to become just a freelancer. I had a couple of options in my mind. I wanted to become a self-employed, and that is something I have mentioned in that video. So to give you an idea, I was not earning anything from the Upwork. I actually wrote resignation email first to my manager, and then I actually got my first task or something. That's what I could actually remember. So yeah, this was not something that I started earning same money as my the job or more than my job. That's why I quit. No, I don't have that kind of story. So I just decided to become a self-employed, and eventually it worked for me. Not a good advice, but yeah, eventually it worked for me. Next thing, yeah, a lot of people ask me regarding my freelancing business model and pricing, right? And they ask me whether I'm as an individual freelancer or do you work with some company. So yeah, mostly I'm as an individual freelancer, but I have also incorporated my company called as a Future Smart AI. So I don't call myself as a founder or anything, but yeah, I do have a legal entity, through which I started doing the work, and also. I'm going to hire some people. Yeah, I already hired a few interns. Like you might have seen a LinkedIn post regarding that, right? So yeah, I do have a legal entity under which I or the others can work now. So, do you work hourly basis or fixed price basis? So when I started, those were fixed projects, as I told you, $50, $100 kind of thing. But eventually, maybe after three, four projects, I moved towards the hourly basis, right? Because the fixed projects you don't know, even it is $100 project, you are not sure, maybe client keeps adding some requirements and all these things. This is okay if you're just starting, right? But eventually you need to move to the hourly basis pricing, right? They might give you $100 work as a fixed price, and they keep changing their requirement, and it happens with the freelancer. So make sure you go towards the hourly basis, and that's what I currently do. I took only the hourly basis projects. Yeah, when I say hourly basis, you need to make sure you need to complete that task in a most effective and productive way. Just because it is hourly, that doesn't mean that you're going to just spend a lot of hours, and no. If you want to be credible, then you need to make sure you complete that task in a whatever the desired number of. I can tell actually the client, okay, this is going to take 20 hours, this is going to take a 30 hours or something, and I make sure I complete in that particular time frame. Okay, what else? So, what is your typical rate for the projects? So, as I said, I work on hourly basis. So, there are two things: whether it is only a consulting call or whether it is actually a work. When I say work, it could be like fine tune transformer model for us, build this GPT-3 application for us. Those are like projects that I work on. But sometimes people have their own team. Sometimes they are not sure what to do. They just want to talk to me. They want to tell what kind of requirements they have, what kind of business model they have. They just wanted to know, hey, how can we use AI or GPT-3 or some fancy stuff that they came across, let's say on LinkedIn or Twitter. Or sometimes actually they're working on some problem and they got stuck at something, so they will reach out to me, hey, can you help us with this particular thing? So it means they are there to do whatever work they want to do. They just want my guidance or some kind of a thing. So that is something, a consulting call. So people book consulting call and I charge like $100 per hour. That's what I charge on a consulting call. And if it is a normal work, like build something for us, which will be like at least 10, 20, 30 hours, whatever the minimum thing. Yeah, I don't have any minimum criteria, but I can guess, let's say this work is going to take minimum, let's say 10 to 15 hours kind of a work. So there I charge $60 per hour. So for consulting, $100 per hour, and for actual work it is $60 per hour. Do you primarily work with the Indian clients or international clients? Okay, so most of the clients what I got via Upwork, they are all like international clients. Maybe they are from US, UK, some of them from I have clients from Australia, Canada, so all over the world, and rarely Indian clients. So most of them are actually the foreign clients what I work with. Do you hire interns for your freelancing business? Yeah, I mentioned that thing, right? Since I have incorporated a company now, so I did hire a few interns. Okay. And there are some complex things, like sometimes I have an NDA with the client, right? And I can't give that work to the interns. But sometimes it is fine. Like there are some clients with whom I have been working with, let's say, more than 6 months of time, and they actually encourage me to have my own team so that they can dedicate some work. And the most of the time we have work other than NLP also. So most of the work is NLP, but there could be some work related to building an API, building an analytics dashboard, and those kinds of things, right? And so that is what I'm only able to give a intense work when the client is okay with that. And I do have now clients who trust me and who are ready to give me projects as a team with my credibility. So yeah, that's how things working. And I also get, how can I work with you? How can I collaborate with you? I'm already working with this XYZ company, but my work is different. I have some like interest in machine learning and all these things. So a lot of people do reach out to me, but again, these are the things that are problematic, right? I sometimes have an NDA, since I can't rely on you. I'm not sure whether you will be completing work or not. Let's say if it is me, then it doesn't matter whether it is Sunday, Saturday, weekend. I don't care if I want to get that thing done. But if it is an intern or even someone with whom I am collaborating, I can't have that same expectation from them, right? So those are the things. But definitely in future, I might collaborate with, let's say, other people or other freelancer, right? I should get such a clients actually. But yeah, clients do ask me most of the time referral, but same thing, it's a reliability. If I don't know you personally, then I can't guarantee the client that this guy is going to complete the work. So maybe this is all things like the people whom I know personally, let's say I have a call with them, or maybe those are the students whom I have already mentored, then those are the people I can suggest. But the unknown people, I might not recommend them actually, unless and until I know them better. And that is what one thing actually, right? So recently I post on LinkedIn that I'm thinking to create a Discord channel, because a lot of people they get some issues related to videos, and they will send some screenshot on LinkedIn. It's hard to reply. First of all, I get a lot of messages, and most of the time, at least for now, I have many projects and I don't have time to reply to the everyone. So I'm thinking to create a Discord channel, at least those common things, right? Those everyone face. Like if I upload a video related to, let's say, Amazon Lex chatbot, then there are a couple of issues that everyone faces. If it is related to GPT-3, there are some issues, right? So I thought of having a Discord channel which can act like a community also, and that will also help me to know, who are capable of helping others. So if you are able to solve someone else's problem, it means I can collaborate with you. I can even give you internship. So that is also one of the thing now. Rather than posting on LinkedIn for internship, I might give opportunities to the people who, let's say, going to help other people on the Discord channel. That is where they can show their skill. So maybe if you are interested, to work with me, or maybe learn some practical skills which can make you money, then join the Discord channel, right? I'm still able thinking like how many people I should allow first, what should be the guidelines and all. But if you are interested, you can just message me on LinkedIn, and maybe you are the early person, right, who can help me to decide how we should structure our Discord server. Okay, so if you're someone, you can ping me on LinkedIn and give some reference that you came from this video or something, right? If you just say, hey, hi, hello, something, I really don't reply those messages, because there are many messages without any context, and I don't have enough bandwidth to reply everyone actually. And it's not like arrogance, this is literally a lack of time. So I don't want to reply the messages which don't have any context. Now, what else we have? Okay, this Friday. Yeah, I did talk about the NDA. I do have a sometime NDA with the client, so I can't share that work. Are you open to accepting projects outside of platform Upwork? Yes. So that is also one of the posts I wrote on LinkedIn, right? That when I shared that when I started, the Upwork was the only source that I was getting the project. But nowadays, LinkedIn is equally, almost 50% work I get is coming from now LinkedIn. People, may some they might see some review or some completed work that I share on the LinkedIn. And the most of the time, what happens, people watch some YouTube video, because my all YouTube videos related to kind of task I do. So when I do some task for someone, I will extract some generic learning from it, take some sample or a demo data set, or maybe the demo problem statement, and show that skill. So every video is actually capable of you to go and do some kind of a freelancing with, whether it is fine tuning transformer, fine tuning, let's say, GPT-3 model, or let's say AWS Lambda, Amazon Lex chatbot. You will find all this freelancing work on Upwork. So if you are able to watch that video, perform some hands-on thing, and maybe build some end-to-end, maybe do something extra with that video, whatever I'm showing, then definitely you are already capable of to do some work. And I also suggest the people who wants to work with me as even intern, they can go and watch my couple of videos, and they simply tell me, hey, I watch your fine tuning video and I know how to fine tune this model, and I think I can contribute. So if you come up with some context, right, that gives me some it makes you more reliable actually, that I can trust you. Or maybe I might ask you to show me how you did it, or explain me whether you understood this particular problem or not. So you are the one interested to work with me and watching specific videos, specific tasks. Yeah, you can ping me with that context. Hey, I watched this thing, and I can contribute in this way. So maybe I can think of. I might not reply, but definitely I will go through my messages whenever I need someone. Right? I can go and see, hey, this guy was asking related to, let's say, transformer model work or something like that. Maybe let's see whether he's available or not. And I do this thing. The interns I even hired this way also. Now what? Let me see. How do you handle a client who wastes of your time? Yeah, there are some clients who will waste your time. Like they will ask you to jump on a call. Even after one or two, three calls, they are not sure what to do, and they keep wasting your time. So nowadays, what I am doing actually, I try to avoid the LinkedIn request people ask me for a call. So they will say, hey, can we connect? Can we discuss the project? I mostly don't respond to them, or maybe I will say I don't have time, and literally I don't have time. So if they are serious, right, if they really care about their problem statement, then they go on Upwork and book a consulting call. The other people, those are not serious, maybe I'm not able to connect with them, right? And some people, if I find the problem statement interesting, then I might go and even connect. But if you are as a freelancer, avoid this thing. Maybe one call is enough. But if the client is asking you to two, three times on a call, it's not worth without any contract, going on those calls actually. If they are serious, ask them to book a consulting call. Now, okay, I already talked about this. Now, yeah, like people ask me, what tech stack, what skills are important for freelancing. Some people will say, "This is my resume. Do you think I'm ready for freelancing?" Like, I'm not here to read your resume and do this thing, right? Some people will say, "Take this resume and tell me, is there any job for me or something like that?" Right? I don't do that thing. Maybe even when I was in a company, people will may say something like this: "Take this resume and see, is there any job in your company?" It doesn't happen that way. You need to see some job posting. You need to see whether your skills are matching with those job, and then you need to say someone, "Hey, can you refer me? I think my skills are relevant to the what is your job posting." But you can't say the other people to do work on behalf of you. So if you're sending me something like that, that's not going to help. Rather, you should tell me, hey, I see these are the videos you have shown, these skills. I already have those skills, and I think I can work on a real project. That is what you should do. If you send me some skill set, what you have, I'm not going to, mostly reply. You should come up with what kind of work you want to do. And if you give the glimpse of the thing, first of all, it is a Python. Second thing, I do use AWS cloud heavily. So if you're already familiar with, let's say, AWS Lambda API gateway, or let's say even the fast API or something, it means you're already capable of doing some work for me. I care about the people who know NLP, right? You are able to handle the text data, you are able to make API call, create those API, you are able to connect from Python to DB. Those are all things which require in the real project. And no matter what people say, whether the GPT-3 and AI, wherever it is going, but I still think the Python and SQL is important, because a lot of projects I do require people who have knowledge of Python and SQL, right? So a couple of things like transformer model, GPT-3, and let's say even spacey, because for data cleaning sometimes and building some NER model, right? I have already created a separate video on that, the tech stack that I use. So that is something you should definitely see if you want to work with me, right? Or whether you want to start your own training. It's not like working with me is something big thing, but what I'm saying, most of the time is what I work is interesting project, lot of the GPT-3 stuff and all these things. And yeah, but those are the same skills that you can go and apply for any particular job. Now, what else? I know a lot of questions about how's the overall life and all this. Like people ask me, what motivates you and all these things. So definitely, the having the freedom. First of all, the time freedom. I decide when to work. I decide how much to charge, and I don't need to take anyone permission. Hey, I'm charging $60. No, I don't need to ask anyone permission for that. Right? People see that on my profile that I'm charging $60, and they come. I have worked with the people who are charging like $175 and $200, and sometimes I do the work on behalf of them. So it's all about like perception. Even tomorrow, if I put some amount, you still get the work. But I decide, what is sufficient for me for this point, and I think okay, $50 $60 charging is perfectly, fine. I'm okay with that. That is a good amount of. Money, right? I remember like Ramsri has posted something on LinkedIn. I think, yeah, he only posted, and I commented there, see where I live, this is my hometown, and this is what you said. We rented a 2 BHK apartment, which is costing, let's say, around 6 to 7 thousand rupees a month, which is almost equal to or less than my 1 hour consulting fee. So I'm in good position. So given that liberty, or this thing, right, that privilege that I have, that I can sit here and work for the people who are in the other countries, and they can pay me the good money. What else? Yeah, so this thing definitely motivates me. First of all, the having control over my, how much I'm going to charge, my time, and you know, other thing is that important thing is that how does things are different from professional to now this thing, freelancing versus company thing. So now I don't need to jump on a call which I don't think interesting, or just for the sake of joining. So in the corporate you have a lot of things, maybe those planning sessions, the sprint sessions, and all these things. Those are important given that the kind of work you are doing. But I rather prefer to work with a small team and a small project. The moment it becomes a big project, lot of bureaucratic thing and those things come into, sorry, uh, so a lot of bureaucratic and the things will come like planning and a lot of different things which are going to consume your time. And most likely nowadays I prefer those small but meaningful project. For example, if you build a GPT-3 application which receives something and give response, it's kind of like an API based AI product, which is enough, which can be integrated anywhere, any UI, any kind of thing. And so if you're able to create something like that, right, which can stand individual and it can still integrated with the other thing, that is enough. You don't need to create all the UI and every aspect of it. But nowadays I still think, because some people have a requirement, rather than me hiring you as a NLP guy, and there will be someone who will doing that UI thing, there will be someone who will be doing analytics thing, and then coordinating among all of you. So sometimes clients suggest, why can't you take all the project, right? Why can't you have your own team and do this thing? So maybe that is the reason now I as a company can have those people around me, maybe data engineering, data analytics, and those. And maybe we can offer a more full-fledged services, and not just what I do, the API based NLP project, but still focus is NLP. Okay, a lot of things around that project, because project might like, let's say I pick up a task like related to NLP, but they have whatever the data is generating and all these things they want to do on analytics, they want to have a dashboard. Now those skills I can create everything from end to end, but I'm not good at those things, so I focus on, let's say, back end and AI stuff kind of thing. Now what else? Yeah, some people ask, what if the client don't pay for the work? As I told you, when starting the fixed project, it might happen, you can raise concern with the Upwork also. But when you are hourly basis, anyway, it gets billed every week or something, right? And you need to be confident about yourself, you need to be good, right? You need to provide more than what people are expecting. So I make sure I do the work really good way. I keep updating them, I educate them. A lot of time they are not aware of certain things, so I will spend time educating them, I will create documentation for them. And eventually, so I don't behave like this way they have to come to me every time. I make sure with the code and documentation, everything, that tomorrow if they don't want to work with me, they can go anywhere, but they make sure they have everything together, so I take care of that thing. I don't want to be the person, they have to come to me. They will, only I can understand my code. No, nothing like that. I will create the demo. I will take the screenshots. I will have documentation. Everything they have sufficient that they can tomorrow. They might say that, hey, now you are charging $60 or something. Better we go find someone else. That is, they could do that thing, and they should be able to do that thing. So I make sure that I take care of those all things. I will make sure they are successful in their project. I came across something on Twitter or LinkedIn, I will share with the client, hey, this is something might be useful for you, right? So I care for them. The moment they give me the work, I don't have any stake into it, but I want to make sure they success, whatever they succeed whatever they do. So you need to genuinely care for that, and you will find like I do have now client, right, to whom actually we move business from Upwork to, let's say, the offline, because I have been working with this guy, and they actually pay before the month, and that is something amazing, right? So we are talking about whether you will get the money or not. They actually pay every month of 7th. They pay me for that whole month, whatever the contract we have, right? A couple of $100 or something. Not couple of $100, it's more actually. Yeah. So they pay me, and they pay me before even the work, right? So you will find such a people when you care for them. Okay, how do you maintain balance between the personal life and the professional life? Literally, I don't have anything like that. Personal. Now this is weekend, and I'm recording this particular video. I don't, distinct between, let's say, personal and this professional life, something like that. So I'm perfectly fine that I am with the family in some event or some function, and suddenly I get email from the client. I'm okay to reply that email. I don't think that, okay, anyway, I will reply it on Monday or later or something. I'm perfectly fine. I can reply to that particular email. And the same thing, right? Let's say I'm working with some clients, some work, and I got some personal work. I don't need to worry about. I can just stop working and do my personal work. So there is no thin line, like Monday to Friday I do this thing, and then weekend I do this thing. No, nothing like that. Every time I represent myself, and I'm okay with mixing all these things. This might not work for you, but I'm perfectly fine with this thing. Are there any periods where you don't have any work? I think I had some time, like so it's been like almost 11 months that I have been doing this thing. So I remember there is 1 month where I couldn't get more clients, but I was also not applying. Okay, now there's this thing that I should tell you. So to get the work, you have to write a proposal for the client, right? So you write a proposal, and then they will accept that proposal, and maybe you get that particular work. But now once you have already good reviews and all these things, you don't need to write proposal always. What happens when client having the job posting, they can see who are the matching, freelancer who has already done similar projects. So they will invite you. So now a lot of time what I work is not looking at the job posting and writing proposal. No, now it won't happen that way. It's like the other way, where client invites me, hey, seems to be you might find my project interesting and you have the skills, do you think? Then I might write proposal in 2 3 lines, very specific to client. I don't need to impress him now, because whatever the task he's care about, I will simply answer to that task, right? Now here is a lot of things about how to write a good proposal. I mentioned in the videos how to write, right? So there are a couple of things, like there should be credibility, what you do and all this thing, who actually you are. Are you some data science graduate person, or like are you some working in some good company? Like who are you? Like what is your credibility? Or did you create, done any course or anything like that? Then it is something related to experience, kind of work you have already done, the skills that you talk about, right? And then other thing is, you should have willingness to do whatever client wants to jump on a call and all this thing, and there is honesty. I will tell you, in couple of my initial proposal, I have written simply, hey, I'm actually new to freelancing and I want to become a full-time freelancer, so I'm perfectly fine with negotiation, and even ready to work before that thing. And I will mention this thing that I'm working here as this kind of a role. So I will mention my company name, what I do, I had already resigned by that time. And I will say, hey, this is what I do, these skills I have, but I actually want to transition myself into the freelancing. So if you could give me the work, right? Or maybe I'm okay to first see what you guys are looking for, and I'm perfectly fine with the pricing and all this thing. Maybe I will share. I mentioned this multiple times, but I have already done before even this video. I took the screenshots of the proposals I wrote. I took the screenshots of what was the job description, the first three jobs or something, right? So if you are interested to see those proposals, right, what I wrote in that proposal, you know, then if you're interested, let me in the comment. I will create a video specifically for those proposal. How did I wrote those first maybe three proposal? What exactly I wrote? So I will directly show the screenshot. Okay, this is what I wrote. This is what the client was looking. Maybe that will be helpful for you when you are applying for your initial client, right? Later, this thing doesn't make any sense because, as I told you, I get the invitation. So let me know in the comment if you are interested. I will create video on that, actually showing you how do I wrote those proposal, right? Okay. How many proposal do you submit? Yeah. Now I told you, right? I don't submit anything now. Everything is invitation. Yeah, so now there are certain things change, when I become a freelancer, right? I feel much more energetic, much more happy, actually, literally, because I don't need to worry about now it is Sunday, tomorrow I have to go to the work, or nothing like that, right? Those days doesn't make any sense for me. Yeah, but they do have a meaning. For example, Saturday, Sunday, most likely there won't be any client unless and until they have very need. Usually they are not. Most of the foreign clients, actually, they really care about work life balance, so they will not work on Saturday, Sunday. Even it is urgent for them, they will not message you. So I do have, Saturday, Sunday easy, but I might want to make some progress on some project or some task on Saturday, Sunday, right? So overall, having control on over my own thing, like what kind of work I, even choosing the project is important thing, whether to work on something or not, how much to charge, what time to work, and the location freedom, all these kinds of freedom, right? So that makes my life really happy, actually. I'm in my almost village, or just near my village, actually. I came from Bangalore now to my hometown. Okay, last question. Like, what kind of problem statement have you worked on? So you have been talking about this client, that client. So see, there is nothing rocket science. So I would say the first client I worked with was related to actually fine tuning transformer model. That was the task, actually. The second guy with whom I worked, he was doing some NLP. So the guy was already a technical person, and he faced some issue with his script. It was in some spacey, some feature extraction, something like that. I jumped on a call and I fixed that issue. So that was the second call. Related. The third thing I did with something like, sentiment analysis, and then speech to text, speech recognition. Those two three elements were involved, and that was more than $100. I think it was more than $300 or so, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to share those screenshots with you. Maybe let me know. As I said, let me know in the comment, then and then I will create maybe video on that. So to give you right fine tuning a transformer model like speech to text, sentiment analysis, I built the name entity recognition model earlier using Spacey, and then suddenly a lot of things started with GPT-3. Like, so if I tell you GPT-3 use cases, what I did. So like, writing personalized email. So you take someone's profile from, let's say, some website like LinkedIn, you extract some important information with respect to whatever email you're writing, and then you create the personalized email, and it really well, actually. Miss, I like the project what I built, actually, right? Writing that personalized email thing. Then there's a lot of thing, right? To helping people like intent detection kind of model. People have some kind of appointment booking system, and they want to make sure the person who has booked the appointment, they will try to send them reminder, and to that message the person can reply whether they are coming or not, whether they should cancel or not, right? So intent detection, analyzing that text and figuring out whether they're going to come, it is going to be cancelled or not, right? So that kind of a problem statement I had. Then for GPT-3, let's say, extracting entities using GPT-3, right? A topic modeling kind of a detecting theme of something, classifying something, lot of things with GPT-3, which also involve the fine tuning thing. Another interesting problem was actually generating whole website content. Like, let's say I want to build a website, like I'm the person who started a company, and I will provide, let's say, custom NLP solutions. So I can go there, put these details, and every section of my website will create it. Services sections, about us section, everything will create automatically using GPT-3 we have used. So there are many projects that actually I have done related to NLP, text, and all these things. A lot of projects also involves having the API, which my default choice is AWS Lambda. Sometimes it is Fast API kind of thing, right? So in that tech stack video, what I have created there, I have actually mentioned all these things. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have any other questions, let me to comment, right? Thanks. Bye.